but it's because he's another species.
The revered father of evolution, the man who really made the theory popular, is Charles Darwin. He wrote Origin of Species and the Descent of Man. Ladies, listen to what he had to say about women. The chief distinction in the intellectual powers of the two sexes is shown by man attaining to a higher eminence in whatever he takes up than women can attain, whether requiring deep thought, reason, or imagination, or merely the use of the senses and hands. Did you hear that? He's saying that man has evolved to a higher eminence over women in basically anything he decides to do, whether it requires reason, imagination, or deep thought. Darwinian evolution, at its core, is not only male chauvinistic, but it's also very racist. Charles Darwin wants us to believe that black people are less evolved than whites.
If we can't convince you of how unscientific the theory of evolution is, perhaps these following experts can.
Ernest Chain, Nobel Prize winner, said in reference to the theory of evolution, "I would rather believe in fairies than in such wild speculation." Sir Arthur Keith, the physical anthropologist and anatomist who wrote the foreword to Darwin's Origin of the Species 100th Anniversary Edition, said, "Evolution is unproved and unprovable. We believe it only because the only alternative is special creation, and that is unthinkable." Malcolm Muggeridge, British journalist and philosopher, said, "I myself am convinced that the theory of evolution, especially the extent to which it's been applied, will be one of the great jokes in history books of the future."
A wise man once said, "Man will believe anything as long as it's not in the Bible." Unfortunately, that is so true.
Can you give me any example of a transitional form, going from one kind of an animal to another kind?
Transitional form between one and another. Well, the thing is, already is an animal, whatever it is. You mean like saying one that's halfway between this and this animal? Can't think of anything right off the moment.
The parrot that's on your arm, God created. How could science make a parrot?
Science, nature made it.
Nature made itself?
Yes, absolutely.
So they made the parrot.
Evolution.
So evolution made it?
Mm-hmm.
So you don't believe God created things?
Well, I don't know what you're referring to as God.
Creator.
To me, evolution, nature is God.
When it comes to evolution, what was the scientific fact that convinced you that it was right?
I would say how it all got started, like explaining how we have elements that were brought to Earth by, like would say meteorites or whatever, that it all got started in the ocean, and organisms grew, and people evolved from there.
Believe in the Bible?
Yes, I do.
Do you believe in Adam and Eve?
Yes, I do.
Was Adam used to be an ape?
No.
Did he crawl up out of slime?
No.
So which way are you going to go? Did God create man in his image and tell him to bring forth after his own kind, or did he begin as some slime from a meteorite from outer space?
Non-random changes come about as a result of selection, okay?
Who's doing the selecting?
Selecting is being done by the ecosystem.
And where did this come from?
It's being done by predators.
Where did it come
It's being
from?
done by geological processes. Well, here, this is the big question. This is where atheists and theists both have a problem, okay? And I'm going to admit to it, okay? The problem we have is at the beginning. The problem we have is at the beginning. The problem we have is at the beginning.
Here's a very interesting fact. In the last couple of dozen times that I've witnessed to someone, I can honestly say that the subject of evolution has not come up even once. Why? Because I didn't bring it up. I didn't have to. And it doesn't come up on its own because it's often a non-issue.